Another example, let's our question start with 3x squared this time. 3x squared plus 11x plus 6. So the example I give you, they're all factorizable. So as before, question mark plus question mark equal plus 11. No matter which method you use, this is the same for both. And when you times, is 3 times plus 6 is plus 18. What two numbers times to give me plus 18 and add up to plus 11? Must be 2 and 9 then. Plus 2, plus 9. In this case, we are splitting the plus 11x to plus 2x plus 9x. Then bring down the next two terms, which is 3x squared plus 6. Split the 4-term factorization into 2 terms. Factorize these two and then factorize those two. Here, the only term which can be taken as a factor is x. Divide by x, divide by x. You need to produce the same bracket when you factorize this one. So easiest way is to write the bracket that you're expected to find. So what number, including the sign, don't forget the sign, because if you don't put the sign, it means they're all times together. What number, including sign, I should put outside this bracket, so when I times it, give me plus 9x, that is plus 3. Now you can see I've got 2 terms, 1 term, 2 terms, and they both have 3x plus 2 as common factor. So if I factorize the first term by the bracket will cancel, leave me with x, and then the second one will leave me with 3. Now the quick method, 3x squared plus 11x plus 6, using the same, I won't write it again, the same information here. I'll go straight into the factorization form. Because start with 3x squared, I'll put 3x and 3x in each. We know it's wrong, because 3 times 3 doesn't make 3. Then plus 2 and plus 9 from here. The first bracket does not factorize. The second one does. 3 is the factor for 3x plus 9. So 3, and cross out that factor. So we have 3x plus 2, x plus 3, which is the same answer we had before. I would cross this out so it's no confusion when the examiner looks at your method, because they may just, the moment they get to this stage here, they think, well, certainly you've gone wrong and not look any further. So if you cross it out, the rest is mathematically all correct. Another example. Let's do one, start with 5. 5x squared minus 38 plus 21. The method is the same. The only thing could make it slightly harder or easier is looking for the factors here without a calculator. So here we have, oops, I missed the x out here. So we have question mark plus question mark equals minus 38 here, and times, don't forget, we have a number here, would be 5 times plus 21, which is plus 105. Now, the two numbers that times to give me 105 and adding to minus 38 must be 5 and 35. 3 and 35. 3 times 5, 15, yes. And both going to be minus. See, this was the difficulty here. Be able to find these numbers quickly. Okay, method 1, the books method. Splitting minus 38x to minus 35x minus 3x. 5x squared plus 21. Factorizing the first two, factorizing the last two, producing the same bracket. The full factor for the first two would be 5x. Divide by 5x, divide by 5x. And here, remember, I need to create x minus 7 as a result of factorization here. So that's easy. What number should I put outside here to create, when I open the bracket to create minus 3x plus 21, it would be minus 3. Minus 3 times x is minus 3x, and minus 3 times minus 7 is plus 21. So from 3-term factorization, we came to 4 terms, from 4 terms to 2 terms, and then we factorize the bracket as before. Just cover the bracket, you're left with 5x. Cover the bracket, you're left with minus 3. So that's the final answer. The quick method, 5x squared minus 38x plus 21. So I go straight into my answer. Since start with 5x squared, I put 5x in each. And I'm putting the numbers I had here, minus 35 and minus 3 inside here, and try to correct them. The first bracket offers me 5. Factorize a 5. This one offers nothing. 5x minus 3. Cross that factor out and write your question again neatly. And get rid of the wrong section of this solution. As you can see, the same answer. As I said, if you end up with brackets the other way around, makes no difference. As long as you got x minus 7 and 5x minus 3 in any order multiplied would be correct. I'm going to give you more examples now. Another example, this time I'm going to start with, say, 7x squared. 7x squared minus 8x plus 1. Let me remind you, all these questions that I give you are factorizable, and not every quadratic is factorizable. So when they say factorized, but you can make sure that it's factorizable. Otherwise, they wouldn't say factorize using factorization or solve using factorization. So here, adding the two numbers together to create minus 8, and times these two numbers to give me plus 7. Minus 8 here, and 7 times 1, 7 times 1 plus 7. The two numbers which I'm looking for, times to give me 7, must be only 1 and 7. They must times to give me plus and add to give me minus 8. So they're both negative values. So here, the standard method, you are splitting minus 8x to minus 1x minus 7x. Bring the next two down. 7x squared plus 1. And here into split them. Four-term factorization into a pair of two-term factorization. Here I can only factorize an x. That gives me 7x, take away 1. Here I want to create the same bracket, which is 7x minus 1. What number, including sign, should I put outside this bracket? So when I open the bracket, it produces minus 7x plus 1. Clearly it's minus 1. Look, minus 1 times 7x is minus 7x. Minus times minus plus, 1 times 1, 1. So that's correct. Now factorize the bracket, which is common in both terms. It's now two-term factorization. Divide this term by the bracket cancels, leave me with x. Here, divide by the bracket, and it gives me minus 1. And if you chose to do the same question, the quick method, use that initial information here. You're looking for two numbers to give me these properties are minus 1 and minus 7. So we start by putting 7x in each, using these numbers minus 1, minus 7. I'm going to correct this statement because 7 times 7 makes 49 and not 7. First bracket, can we factorize anything? No, so it stays at 7x minus 1. And here I can factorize a 7 from these two. That gives me x minus 1. Now here, get rid of the common factor here for those two and write the question without that number. And this is your answer when you remove that. And don't forget to cross out the incorrect version. Now, perhaps we do one more question here. Say, this time starting with 6. 6x squared plus x minus 12. Standard method. Adding two numbers have to give me plus 1 times to give me 6 times minus 12 is minus 72. So the two number terms to give me 72 with a gap of 1 must be 9 and 8. Or 8 and 9, doesn't matter. Of course, they have to multiply to give me minus, so one of them has to be negative, one has to be positive. Here, by analyzing, it has to be positive 9 more and negative 8. So when they add, give you plus 1. So this plus x, which is plus 1x, is going to split into 9x minus 8x from here. Dropping these two down. Forgot the sign of the plus. And the split and factorize. I can factorize 3x from both to give me 2x plus 3. Factorizing something, so it produces 2x plus 3. From here, what number outside here times 2x makes 8, minus 8x must be minus 4. Check, minus 4 times 2x is minus 8x, and minus 4 times plus 3 is minus 12. Now factorize the bracket. Write the bracket and cover the bracket. Give me 3x minus 4, and that's the final answer. The quick method, using the same information there, because the question begins with 6x squared, so you put 6x in each. The numbers are plus 9 and minus 8. You need to factorize each bracket fully. Here I can factorize a 3 to give me 2x plus 3. I can factorize a 2 here to give me 3x minus 4. And get rid of these. Write it again. And get rid of the incorrect version. Same answer as above. With this quick method, I'm going to give you an example which doesn't work. If you can factorize initially all of them by a number before you start this method, you must do that. Otherwise, this method fails to do that. I'm going to show you this with the next example. Special question which makes the second method not practical unless you factorize at the beginning. Say you got this question and you want to use the second method. You see here we should factorize a 2 at the very beginning and then deal with what is left. I'm going to do it without factorizing it to see how we can get this confused and getting it wrong. So if I don't notice, the first method it works very well, but the second method, the quick method, doesn't. So question mark plus question mark equals minus 18. Question mark times question mark equals 4 times plus 14 is plus 56. The two numbers times to give me plus 56 and add to minus 18 is minus 14 and minus 4. Minus times minus plus, 14 times 4 is 56. Minus 14 and minus 4 makes minus 18. So if I go and do the second method, of course I have to put 4x in each. Putting these numbers in and try to factorize. You can only factorize a 2 here. You can factorize 4 here. And if you cross out these numbers as I've taught you, the answer is 2x minus 7, x minus 1, which is wrong. That's clearly wrong, because 2x times x doesn't make 4x squared. So this is wrong. If you want to use this method, you have to factorize at the start. So look at the numbers. If you can factorize at the beginning, do that. So let's do this question now using this method, but doing it correctly. So I'm doing the same quick method, but correctly now. I'm going to factorize a 2 from all of them, because I can. Now, that 2 stays here. And here, this is where you open the 2 brackets based on the information that inside the bracket gives you. You're looking for 2 numbers add to give me minus 9 and times to give me 2 times 7 plus 14. So that must be minus 7 and minus 2. So here, 2x in each, minus 7, minus 2. That 2 stays outside here. The first one does not factorize, but this one does, a 2. And you need to cross out that 2. So we have 2, bracket open, The square brackets are not necessary now. You can just write 2x minus 7, x minus 1. Now this is correct because 2x times x is 2x squared, and it's doubled out here to give me the 4x squared at the beginning with the equation. So my message is, when you are using any type of quadratic factorization, any method, if you can factorize at the beginning, it is best. So let's do the books method for the same question. For x squared minus 18x plus 14. Here, if I forget to factorize, it will work, that method. Really, I should factorize here. Let's do it without the factorization and do with the factorization. Here, the same two numbers are minus 7, minus 2. No, the clue has changed. I'm sorry here. I used the previous clue. So we have question mark plus question mark equals minus 18. And question mark times question mark equals 4 times plus 14 is plus 56. That is minus 14 and minus 4. So minus 18x split into minus 14x minus 4x. Using the standard method, can factorize the 2x from both. Give me 2x minus 7. Factorize, write a bracket and you know what to factorize. 2x minus 7, you need to put minus 2 here. Now factorize the bracket. (2x minus 2). But look here, there is a 2 that can be factorized in your answer. This is your final answer, but best to factorize a number out. So I'm going to factorize a 2 and put it outside here. So the first bracket is unchanged. When you factorize the 2 from 2x minus 2, give me x minus 1. And this is correct. Now let me do the same question with 2 to be taken out to start with. I'll go to the next page. It was 4x squared minus 18x plus 14. I want to use the book standard method. I'm going to factorize the 2 at the beginning, because it's possible and make the numbers much easier to deal with. So remember, the 2 stays out here. So we have a question mark plus question mark is minus 9. Question mark times question mark equals 2 times plus 7 is plus 14. And there are minus 2 and minus 7 as before. So you're dealing with everything here within a set of square bracket. Minus 9x becomes minus 2x minus 7x. Bring the next 2 terms down. 2x squared plus 7. Split your 4-term factorization. Factorize these 2 and those 2 as 2 different, as a pair. The 2 stays here. Factorize 2x. Give me x minus 1. Factorize a 7 here. But if I factorize a 7, give me minus x plus 1. So this is why I say write the bracket that you expect to obtain and then think of a number. The number outside here to create minus 7x should be minus 7. Here again, we're dealing inside. They both have x minus 1 as a factor. Cover the bracket. And now remove the square bracket. So become 2 x minus 1 to x minus 7. Now, I have gone through every possible questions with the harder type quadratic using two methods. Again, I emphasize, when you are trying to factorize, see if you can take a factor out to start with. And that factor will stay right through. But it makes your life much easier, because instead of dealing with 4, 18, 14, you're dealing with 2, 9, and 7 as digits. So your work here is going to be easier. I hope you enjoyed this lesson on hard type quadratic factorization. We use this for solving quadratic equations later on. The procedure is the same, except we have a equals 0, which we continue with the same method to the final answer when solving equations. As I always say, I'm trying to make maths enjoyable, but making it as simple as possible. Once your maths gets improved, you become really fond of maths. So I'll see you next lesson. For the time being, bye now.